44%, BlackBerry down 40%, Fossil down 38%, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond down 36%, Genus Brands down 35%, Jail, Trit. So the largest losers, the top losers, were all actually actively traded. We even got most active trading on Naked Brands, which actually was initially up 560% in a day. You had Sundial rising 100% in a day. What exactly is happening in the market? Let's tell you what. But Facelesstrader wants you to also know that UVXY, amidst this January 3 days, 27, 28, 29, slowly you're seeing the first bullish moves of UVXY. Every time the market is scared, remember September, some stocks fell. UVXY rallied from as low as 18 to as high as $30 in just a week. You've seen another up move from October to November. In general, the market has been climbing the wall of worry from about 12,000 NASDAQ to 13,500 NASDAQ from September all the way to January and February. Are we culminating in what could be a conclusive top, not just simply for your AMCs, your GMEs, but for the markets in general? So UVXY, prepare for the arc. That is something that Noah talked about. What Moses, Bible. Noah, yeah, right, Noah. So God actually instructed Noah to prepare for the ark. There will be flood. Don't predict the rain. Should investors prepare for the ark and not predict the rain? We feel that these UVXY is like clouds that are telling you that there might be rain in the next few months or days. You got to prepare for your ark and do not predict the rain. Whether it happens or not doesn't matter. So you actually see the Reddit revolution. This is just 5 minutes. Why don't we watch it? Hedge funds are finally being dragged out into the spotlight. What exactly is happening?
Look in the mirror. You're doing the same thing. The hedge funds are betting against companies. We're betting on them. With money and margin, we're doing the same thing. The only difference is we're winning and you're getting your teeth kicked in. It's because they're being pulled by strings. It's criminal behavior. What happened today? Plain and simple, people have to go to jail.
That, as you know, was earlier in the show. Dave Portnoy, who runs the sports site Barstool. Some of the smartest analysis on what we're seeing on Wall Street now from a guy with a sports site. One of the smartest pieces written on this today came from someone who was also not, strictly speaking, a financial journalist. He covers politics and foreign policy. He's Glenn Greenwald. He's an independent journalist. You can find his work on Substack. We hope you support it. And we're grateful to have him on tonight to explain what this means. You wrote a great piece on this today, Glenn. There's so much to say, but how would you assess what we're seeing with GameStop and the hedge funds?
There are a whole bunch of different power centers in the United States, many of which we often openly discuss: the intelligence community, Silicon Valley, the U.S. government, lobbyists. Obviously, one of the most important and powerful, if not the most powerful, is Wall Street, and hedge funds in particular on Wall Street, who are at the top of that food chain. And we almost never talk about how it is that they get to be multi-billionaires without really producing anything of value, just leeching off the American economy, taking huge amounts of money in exchange for nothing. Whatever you think of Silicon Valley, they get rich at least by producing something, whatever you think of those products. These people produce nothing. They just take, and they just take, and they take. And so for the first time, not only are we seeing them have pain inflicted on them, not by people who are stealing from them or who are committing crimes, but people who have figured out their game and learned how to exploit it by doing what they should do, which is be studying it, but they're also getting dragged out into the sunlight. So for the first time, we're talking about people like Melvin Capital and Citadel and hedge fund short sellers and understanding what it is that they're doing to this country. And it only happened, Tucker, because the internet, a free internet, when it's free, enables citizens to band together in large enough numbers to challenge these ruling class elites. And that's why we talk so much about the imperative nature of defending the internet from surveillance, defending it from censorship. It is a very powerful weapon in the hands of citizens against ruling class elites, and that's why they're so bent upon seizing it back, controlling it, regulating it, and censoring it.
I think you make such a wise point. If I made $1 billion people would say, where did you make $1 billion and for what? And I would feel incumbent upon me the responsibility to explain what I did. I never hear anybody discuss what the upper echelons of finance have really done or, as you point out, contributed to become billionaires. Like, why is that not a conversation we're having all the time?
Right. And the other thing that I think is so interesting in this particular case is you see people on the left and people on the right reacting in very similar ways, namely in favor of what these Redditors did to these hedge funds. Why? Because if you're on the right, what you believe in generally, traditionally, is free market economics.
Right.
If you're on the left, what you believe in is government intervention in the economy to help the neediest. We have neither of those. What we have is a totally rigged system where the government constantly intervenes in the economy, but not to help people who are in need, but to help the richest and most powerful who are funded and owned and controlled by those very rich people who fund their campaigns, who pay their lobbyists, who give them enormous speaking fees when they're out of power. And it's a system that no one, either on the left or the right, supports. The only people who are supported are these establishment centrists in both wings of the parties, and they see these people uniting against them, and that's why they're desperate to reimpose a wedge between us so that we can't unite anymore.
But there's a realignment coming, which is the good news. The great Glenn Greenwald, thank you.
So what you're seeing really is that people are so tired. There has been always, just like in the Joker movie, you cannot actually ignite a revolution, occupy Wall Street without a real reason, right? So what exactly happened? Last night, it was something like this. It was like this meme. Hedge funds like Citadel, Melvin Capital stopped the app, the brokerage firm of Robinhood, to actually transact securities with trading restrictions last night, January 28th, restricted anyone to buy AMC, CVM, EXPR, Fossil, GME, Nokia, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry, GSX. You are seeing all these names not being allowed to simply buy. No one could buy. And so everyone who even had a margin were even required to put up more cash. And so some people afraid that their gains would get wiped out or just simply gap down had to unload. It was just one of the more rational things to do. There was a basketball game. You were Michael Jordan, but then the ref said that you couldn't shoot the ball. They gave a little tiny kid the ball and kept on scoring points on the other side. Now, is it a conflict of interest that the biggest client, Citadel, who is also part owner of a hedge fund, was destroyed by the short selling that Robinhood banned? And this was a comment by somebody from Reddit discussions. He said, I was a professional option market maker for 6 years. Anyone wondering why this is happening, follow the dots. Robinhood sells its order flow to Citadel for execution. Robinhood Citadel legally front runs orders, chiseling pennies from customers known as high-frequency trading to make their billions. I think that there was a column or an article saying that Citadel made something like $2 billion legally front-running all of these orders. Citadel also just bailed out Citron Research, de facto inheriting the short position. And then they threatened Robinhood into pulling out their payment from the order flow. That is actually criminal. It is so easy that a sharp fourth grader could follow the logic. Now, Wall Street bets could they could have actually, in theory, pushed up every other hedge fund to bankruptcy. Melvin Capital was, I think, losing something in the realm of $4 billion, or I don't know, $15 billion. And people were saying Robinhood legitimately hid Nokia. Robinhood, we're talking about the app. They hid Nokia, AMC, GameStop, and Naked from searching. Internet Psychology 101. This will only make things for you, Wall Street. Things are getting blown the fuck up today. Take all the cash you can afford to lose and buy. So what you're seeing is that individual investors are being stripped of their ability to trade on Robinhood app. Hedge funds, however, can still continue to trade as normal. What you call a market removing retail investors the ability to buy just to save institutional investors who are short. It's ironic indeed. And so some people called for a Reddit revolution, triggering even the likes of Dogecoin to moon last 2 days ago. It actually went as high as 800% or more. We're going to show you the charts. And as you could see, Citadel even reloaded their shorts before telling Robinhood to stop trading GameStop. If this was true, Ken Griffin and the Robinhood Foundation should be in jail, said by Justin Kan, because this is class warfare. Some people who actually said that what Wall Street bets were doing, such as Chamath and the people from Dumb Money Live like Diamond Hands Camilo, they even decided to donate 100% of all their wins to pediatric charities for the Barstool Sports Fund. Reddit users pushing stops like GameStop higher again. This was prior from GameStop going from 100 to 350 and then eventually topping out at 500. He won a $500,000 bet. It was insignificant, by the way, for Chamath. Take note that for a $200 million, or I don't know what his status is. I think he's a billionaire. I don't know his net worth, but for a billionaire, $100,000 is nothing. It's just, in his view, play money, and he used it as an educational tool. As you could see, all the crypto ones were actually doing this GME more like, I don't know if it's like promotion to themselves, but you're seeing that Justin, son of Tron, was saying he'll buy $1 million of GME. The TRX community are with the Wall Street bets. And Wall Street bets community were saying, we look now across a vast ocean between us, so our European nation follows in this war. It is up to you now to help us to enter this day. So you are seeing that there's a lot of class warfare right now. And there are several people, when you search like BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, the other day, knowing that it was a highly shorted company, everyone, I found something. Very high insider trading stock. Shorts float is at 65%. We got our eyes on AMC, but maybe the diversion is Bed Bath & Beyond. Second, the GME on insider trading. So you could actually see how much of the short float interests are in these names. And therefore, the people who actually are targeting them are simply using the playbook that Wall Street knows about. If you short, you can actually short squeeze. You can get short squeezed. Everyone knows that there's an unlimited risk on the downside for a shorter, because technically a stock can go from $10 to $10,000, but the upside when you short it is limited to zero, because you can't actually go negative 10,000 even if you wanted to. So parents were actually worried about their kids spending too much time playing Fortnite in 2021. Parents are worried about their kids spending too much time on Reddit terminals, Bloomberg terminals, whatever. So these past few days, you are seeing, of course, the heavily shorted names going up, wildfire. It reminds me a little bit of when companies like Hertz, bankrupt companies like Hertz, and what do you call that? The Luckin and the frauds. Remember a time when all of these bankrupt companies were rising 100, 200%. So it's kind of the same thing in a way. The Robinhood investors, or the retail army for short, in short, tried to look for companies that were massively shorted, and they bought it up because simply of a short squeeze. You hate this game, you love this game. When people understand the rules, they know how to bend the rules to their favor. And so when people knew, of course, that there was a massive short interest in Nokia, BlackBerry, and the likes, to the moon we ride. Those are things that you can see in the social chatter. And the UVXY was rising perhaps because what was happening was people were uncertain about how high can the pump can go, such that the people who are short are going to get busted. And when they're getting bust, we're talking about hundreds of, right now, we don't know, $15 billion, would it be $100 billion? Because technically, if you can't actually know how high a stock could go, infinity, that means infinity losses for the ones who are on the other side, right? And Wall Street bets knew about this. What happened? As of January 27, 2 days ago, amidst GameStop and AMC surging, there were a lot of errors happening already. Interactive Brokers, eToro, Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, Just as much as the Reddit message board has been triggering much of the activity, there were already hangs. It wasn't happening before, but it was hanging on that day. In fact, we learned as of January 28 that spiking the price of a heavily shorted stock will force hedge funds to create a bubble in the price of that stock because they will be compelled to either abandon their existing shorts, which means that they have to cover, or they need to take up new shorts. It is glorious. So you've got two sides of the table, the ones who are short not admitting that they were false and they had to cover, and the ones who went long had unlimited upside as long as they will do it. As long as they were determined to pump and use all the float to really squeeze the short out of his mind and out of his cash, and not just lose 100%. You could lose 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 and percent and more. So here was the GameStop strategy going global. Traders in Australia started to target all the stocks with big short positions and low equity float to force a squeeze. You can do the same thing worldwide. In India, GameStop accounted for about 15% of the volume in the platform for trading the US stocks. We are not expecting Indians who would be on Reddit reading about GameStop, said the co-CEO of the platform. It has become a global thought leader. In a way, I don't know, actually, short squeezes, I guess, isn't a thing about the Philippines or the US or China. I think it's been known. So actually, I'm not sure why people think of this as a phenomenon that just happened today. And hedge funds used to lose $30 billion on a Volkswagen Infinity squeeze. Remember that? In 2008, there was a Volkswagen Infinity squeeze. The short squeeze actually had a casualty. The man who actually shorted Volkswagen because he couldn't pay the hundreds of billions of dollars in $30 billion on that loss declared himself suicide. Sadly, he killed himself because of that crisis. When you short, it's infinite losses. When you do this dangerous game and people know what you did, you could really get squeezed and everything you own can be lost and you'd lose more than you can afford. Classic risk management 101 was not being used by these freaking professional hedge funds. And all these Robinhood traders knew about it. So they were like Terminator. With $600 stimmy checks, with 1 million or 5 million of them, or 100 million of them, all trying to fight Wall Street. It was a class warfare in general. And of course, you've got billionaires who read about it, people like Chamath, and he said, all right, with Robinhood closing down that buy button, let's do this. He said, I remember when I met the Robinhood app. He is a venture capitalist billionaire. The founders, when they were raising their seeds, Series A and Series B, Chamath passed it up. Because why would you optimize for integrity whenever, why? He said, optimize for integrity whenever possible, because integrity will compound and assholes will fuck you. Hashtag delete Robinhood. So we're getting like you remember, delete Facebook movement. It was just hard because Facebook is already 3 billion, right? How would you actually stop it? But Robinhood, you could say, is small. And when somebody says delete Robinhood with an alternative like SoFi and Cash App, by the way, there is ulterior motive here. And so he already reported the disclosure that I am taking this company public, SoFi, via IPOE. So I am biased, but I think it kicks ass. Did people love Chamath for what he did? Yeah. IPOE, SoFi was up from 18. I think right now it's about $23 after what? 1 to 2 days. And you could see everyone on Reddit is hating and sticking it up to the man and telling them, I want to sue this decrepit piece of petrified dinosaur shit personally. Of course, fuck him. Now, you'll see a lot of bad cuss words all throughout all these Reddits discussions about what Robinhood actually did. Consider yourself in the front of the middle. I mean, you really had no choice. Nothing was given for you. The other day, if you had Nokia, exactly, you were up like 60, 80%. The next morning, sorry, it's about $5. You have no choice. You can even buy, you can only sell. Naked Brands was 80 cents. You would see, yes, there was a lot of social media chatter about Naked Brands. People are saying it can go $2. It hit as high as more than $2, by the way, in a single day. So you're seeing that people with influence, they can actually squeeze the hell of a game and actually eat up all the float, especially when the market cap is very small, like a $10, $20 million market cap. Position sizes of some people, 200,000 longs on AMC, 100,000 longs on BlackBerry, 200,000 longs on Nokia. You are seeing magnanimous gains. These are not gains in a day. Sometimes it's just minutes. I remember seeing Naked Brand at 60 cents, 15 minutes, it was 80 cents. The next day, I saw what, $2, $3. Occupy Wall Street spirit returns as traders are upsetting the elites. The Reddit's army of degenerates challenges the financial establishment. You notice what the establishment talked about. Well, why don't we just change the rules? Let's not allow anyone to even transact the buy button. You take off the buy button, it's all sell. And so the people had no choice. If you had GameStop, you don't know what the rules tomorrow will be. What exactly will you do? As early as 11:19 p.m. last night, GameStop was already down 60%. Bed Bath & Beyond was already down 40%. Exactly what would the retail investors do? They have no choice. They're going to sell it, right? Now, I know that some people like Deep Fucking Value, $25,000 turned into a $33 million investment, but he's not selling as if it's a message to stick it up to the man. But I mean, okay, Wall Street Bets already won. You already won a lot. We get the message. I think what happened here is that the people who were saddened about what happened sold their shares, and rightfully so. If you're going to ask me, even if it's up 200% tonight, the game's over. You can't play if the rules are getting changed every single day. Well, I'm not sure if the rules are going to change every single day, but that surprise is not something that people want to happen. So you've seen, yeah, everybody knows that, okay, COVID vaccine, we're there, reopening place, nobody's in a department store. But if you were simply charting, and we said actually about November, this was a clear breakout on Macy's at 7, more buying breakouts here at $10. This surge with GME, of course, forced people to look, hey, what are the biggest shorts out there? It's obvious whether I have a Bloomberg terminal or not, everybody knows these things. We knew Macy's was going to get pushed up. This was like basic 101. 7 went to a 20. All right, the next day, this is January 28th, you saw the squeezes. Now, of course, if you're winning, why would you sell? You're just going to trail stop. But what happened last night, what you did with GameStop, forced people to just, all right, abandon all the longs. Sell them. Next day was $14. Genius Brands, what? 306. Next day, 50% down. Here's the thing about the markets today. Prior to Michael Jordan, I'm sure that if there was social media during Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman's time, they are your cults. They are like leaders, religion, they're the gods of some people. Sometimes you might say it's irrational, it's insane. Elon Musk tweet sends Etsy stock on a roller coaster ride just because he said, I kind of love Etsy. That was all it took. Naked Brands, I said, went up 600%. Now, these are not names that Elon Musk talked about. Elon Musk talked about Etsy. Elon Musk talked about Cyberpunk, which was CD Projekt. And then Elon Musk talked about, sometimes he's the meme lord of the world. Talked about Dogecoin and Bitcoin. And you saw what happened in just the last 24 hours. Cost Corporation, 560%. Unusual volumes, unusual prices. Nokia CEO said, I don't know what's happening. I'm not aware of any material undisclosed or publicly disclosed that would account for this recent increase. It was about 80% up. They commented about the trading activity, but obviously they knew that what was happening was there was a short squeeze happening. Social media chatter. Nasdaq CEO suggested that how about halting trading so that big investors can recalibrate their positions to combat the Reddit users. My gosh, it's like that. The Nasdaq CEO. Even IBKR, the CEO, Thomas Peterfee, said that they were trying to protect the integrity of the markets. They were saying that the people who lost their money on the other side, it could go infinity, and they don't know if they can collect that money from these people who are losing money. So they were not sure if the security clearing houses would even function. So the Nasdaq president, investing.com, said, we are monitoring social media chatter and we will halt stock if we match that chatter with unusual activity. CNBC said GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, and Nokia, they're going to halt it. Now, if it's going to be halted, look what's going to happen with the people who have it. You just induced panic. What exactly do you feel is going to happen? People who have it would suddenly scream and run and sell their shares just because you said this. Even if, what could the Nokia shareholders do? The thing about it is that the sad part of this is that what if people who actually held their Nokia shares because they liked the 5G story actually bought Nokia at $3 to $4 because they liked the story of Nokia, not because of this social media chatter? What if BlackBerry, or, okay, I could say that, yeah, sure, you might say the Amazon BlackBerry thing was not such a thing to actually merit a 500% rise. But what in the name do they have the right? Personally, a free market says that nobody has the right to dictate. But what happened here was that apparently somebody had a way to dictate prices and capped it. And then this is what Wall Street Bets is saying. Read this if you are scared. We will go up again before the day is over. The most important thing you'll read all day: AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, GME, Naked. It's unlikely that anyone here is selling. This is a short ladder. It only looks like the stock is selling off. In reality, it is not. Hedge funds sell back and forth with one another at lower and lower bids in rapid succession, tricking algorithms into thinking that there is a massive sell-off when there actually is not. They do this to scare investors, to engineer a sell-off. Once the attack is over, the stock will not normally go back up due to its demand. Then they will rinse and repeat this attack each time, hoping to chip away more and more retail investors. Most people in here know this. So if retail investors are selling, it's unlikely that it is anyone at all. Edit, I'm not a financial investor, and my reason for investing is that I just like the stocks. Right now, actually, it's very hard to know what's exactly happening. Is GameStop truly a Mother Teresa to save Wall Street Bets against the Wall Street titans who are just scrupulously making a lot of money from, I don't know, at the end of the day, this was what happened, right? 19,290%, you heard me right. If you got in on GameStop at $2.50, or if you're Michael Burry who bought every share 18% of the float at $3, your $3 was up something in the realm of $500 at some point in time. Now, let's say you sold about $300, 100x. Those are the kinds of movements that we're talking about here in less than a year. GameStop Corporation, if it's January 2021, went 25x. Let's say you got in at about $20, you sold at about $500, you made 25 times your money. GameStop was up 145% in pre-market so far, January 9, 2021. You're seeing the game is roller coaster, 480, 190, 120. I know nothing about the volatility, what's going to happen, 100% up, 100% down, 200% up, 50% down. Oops, I really don't know. But what you're seeing here is that parabolic movements do happen on the upside and on the downside. And everyone in the crypto community who always talked about Decentralization. That is the answer here. Robinhood is fucked. Everyone who knows Andreas Antonopoulos knows that he is a Bitcoin evangelist. They managed to piss off people so much that Ted Cruz agrees with Alessandra Ocasio-Cortez to have them investigated. There is no way Robinhood came up with a destroy or brand decision without being pushed into a corner by someone with power. In preparation for these hearings, I am taking long positions in popcorn companies. Yeah, you're seeing people actually right now do a popcorn movement here. Some people are what? Buying $100, $500 going long just to stick it to the mat. So they're trying to burn their money just for a message. What do you get when you see AOC, E. Warren, Ted Cruz, and even Donald Trump Jr. holding hands? Change. GameStop has united the country. So it turns out that Robinhood ran out of collateral, and that's why they had to cut people off. Basically, some people who are losing money had no money, so Robinhood had to stop the game. And I think about this like the boiling frog movement. The boiling frog. What is the boiling frog story? Well, if you place a frog in water and just slowly bring it to a boil, it will not notice that it is slowly being boiled alive. Nah, man, I know. Oops. Before you know it, you're dead. The boiling frog story applies to both ways, by the way, for the Wall Street bets and the ones who sold, which is Wall Street. Both sides are actually, in my view, pigs or boiling frogs. Nobody knows who's going to win. People are going to say, well, Wall Street bets are winning. Wall Street, the other side, the short. It's, for me, too volatile. Too volatile. The boiling frog is the inability of people to react to significant changes that are occurring gradually or to events which have become commonplace. The boiling frog story is similar to what's happening worldwide. You think about climate change. People said, oh, we don't have climate change. 1.5 degrees Celsius, hotter and hotter. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you still don't believe in climate change, you're going to just boil yourself to death. Boiling frog. That's what scientists know about. That's why everyone who knows science are saying, solve the climate change problem now before we all die. Now, Elon Musk said, here comes the shorty apologist. Give them no respect. Get shorty. You cannot sell houses you don't own. You cannot sell cars you don't own. But you cannot sell stock that you don't, but you can sell stock that you don't own. This is bullshit. Shorting is a scam and legal only for vestigial reasons. By the way, cyberpunk, even the hot fixes, literally have hot fixes, but great game. For those who aren't aware, cyberpunk is CD Projekt, and we have been saying out loud in all of our market updates that Martin Wojcicki would be able to solve this Sony PlayStation 5 problem on cyberpunk. And the drop was an opportunity to buy. 250 we were buying. Thank you, Elon Musk. Your tweet actually helped it to go 360. But the point of the matter here is, with Elon Musk tweeting about it, even without him tweeting about it, is CD Projekt a great company? Yes. Yes. The patch 1 update, the Elon Musk tweet, whether you had a catalyst or not, thank you. But the point here, guys, is that we invest without the knowledge that Elon Musk is going to do this. We didn't know that he's going to do that. Nobody knew that he was going to tweet about it. Only Elon Musk did. OTGLY, of course, with an Elon Musk tweet, went like 16% up on a day. While you're seeing 250 go to 360, there's some people trying to profit take first. But can it go to 450? With more patch updates of CD Projekt, it could. At least you'll have a definitive higher low. Now, for the people watching this, I couldn't find CD Projekt in eToro, by the way. Couldn't. So for the life of me, for everyone who's still investing in eToro, I don't mind. I have an account with eToro. I have an account with Interactive Brokers. But in terms of stock selection, eToro is too limited. Can they have as big as of a collection like Interactive Brokers to really democratize and to really provide the truth, because eToro, by the way, is marketing itself with they're saying zero commission fees. But their spreads, guys, are 2%, very, very high, versus the actual rates of what the actual stocks are trading at. That's how they make money. Now, there's always that fine print. They're going to say eToro does not make money off of commissions. We make money off of spreads. However, you and I both know who actually reads those fine prints. So I'm just telling you the truth. eToro is expensive in fees, 8% a year versus 1.59% in Interactive Brokers. Do you want a better brokerage firm? Now, this is the exact Elon Musk. Now, guys, basically, I'm not saying that I'm pro something, but I'm just saying that I'm just telling you what I feel. It's just an opinion. All right. Elon Musk said that inside Tesla, you can play Cyberpunk. He talked about the Model S, the first production car ever to achieve 0 to 60 mph. Even Discord has gone corpo. And then, of course, you saw that in January 26, he said, I kind of love Etsy. And then, Wall Street chairman said, sorry, I missed your call. I was busy exposing Wall Street and watching the Dogecoin moon. Yeah, this was what happened with Etsy. Etsy rallied up. You see that up to 20. Then, of course, it fell down. So people were fading the Etsy move. Guys, I like Etsy as a company. Not because Elon Musk tweeted about it. But at the end of the day, Etsy went from 30 to 220. Even if you want Etsy, let's say even if you're late, try to pick it up at about, hopefully, if it will ever fall, 160 or 180. It's too high. I don't know if it can even fall to $100. But these are the companies that you want to actually own for your long-term portfolios. We had a buy here about $70 below. What exactly happened to Dogecoin? Something like this. It shot up, went to the moon in just 2 days. Yeah. 20 to 240. 10x in 2 days. That's what you get. People are now chattering. The problem here, guys, is that they're not investing. They're speculating. You and I both know this. Hit and run, hit and run. Use your influence, hit and run, hit and run. Is there any law against this? No. People can express their freedom. People can make memes. People can make their devotions on how much they love their own companies. I could say all day long that I love Palantir. It doesn't matter. I vote with my own money. It's not as if like anyone can ridicule me because I voted with my money. I could lose, I can make. What's the point of, there's no problem with that, right? It's freedom of expression. And so, this is just a sample of companies that Reddit, Wall Street bets love. Alex Karp. Alex Karp is a guy who said that your privacy is being sold by Facebook. We know that, right? We all know that. I spent 4 hours writing Hamilton-themed Palantir propaganda, and I was told by the mods that I needed to rap it myself for it to stay up. So I apologize in advance for what you're about to hear. Palantir, a Wall Street bet musical. Just like 4chan found on a Bloomberg terminal illness, this is the official mod Twitter, WSB mod, press contact, press@bloomberg.com. So, all right, what's happening on Palantir? We got it at about $9. I felt that here about $22, $24 was a support. And you are seeing that Wall Street bets also love Palantir. Higher high, higher low. It shot up to 44. People got a bit scared of this AMC Nokia thing. But at least, guys, Palantir was not banned in all those, you cannot buy Palantir anymore. It's like, AMC you cannot buy, Nokia you can't buy, BlackBerry you can't buy. And are you gonna ban everything? At the very least, at least Palantir, guys, was not banned. I'm happy to say it was not banned. But what are you seeing here? Palantir has Gotham and Foundry. They're going to demo themselves. They are the artificial intelligence data analytics leader, in my view. You could see, well, Palantir Technologies are going to fight with C3 AI. True. But let's see who wins. Or maybe they both win. But if you ask me, just my opinion, Palantir Tech is the Tesla of its category. When it comes to data, intelligence, artificial intelligence, and data analytics, Alex Karp, Palantir, I'm a fan. And I'm long. Now, what will I do? Okay, bring this down all the way to $32. Bring this down all the way to 28 or 24. What will I do? Go long. Now, this is the thing. Nokia has been an invalid symbol. Sadly, we didn't even buy Nokia for the short squeeze. This is a sad year. Sad year. You could buy, you could sell, but when it goes up, suddenly you can't buy anymore. The rules changed. What are we gonna do? This was like January 28, 2021. The next day, Nokia was like $5. I don't know if people who actually made a bet on Nokia made a bet because of their 5G efforts for the last 10 years. But I'm not even sure. But for those who aren't aware, the facts remain that Nokia and Huawei and Ericsson, Nokia and Ericsson has been getting a lot of market shares, by the way, in terms of 5G. Countries would be using Nokia and Ericsson for their 5G infrastructure. So is there value in it? In my view, there is. Now, you could argue that, well, it shouldn't go up 100% a single day. Okay. But can it go 100% in a month or a year? Possible. So if it falls somewhere in the realm of $3.30, I don't know. Why would it fall? Because, I don't know, somebody's panicking, selling. I really don't know sometimes. But if it ever falls, here's what I believe in. This is just my opinion. This is not financial advice. You do your own, right? I think that there is a support at 4 and 3.30. And I believe that there are core institutions who own Nokia, not just necessarily the retail investor here. And so, even if there was a squeeze here, I'm sure that somebody got scared. 550, 650, they'll probably sell. They're probably going to sell if it even goes $8 because, well, easy money, easy come, easy go. I don't know, maybe. I'm of the opinion that, all right, 100% in a day, probably you want to take profits, right? All right, can I sell it at 650? Will it even go to 650? We'll see. But I think that Wall Street Bets is angry. They're angry because you're changing the rules. You changed the rules. BlackBerry, the people who bought it at $5, the chart is 500%, $27.50. The next day it's $14, still made money. Yeah, that was a 7-year resistance, squeeze, and then, okay, let's say it goes down to $12. But I don't think that BlackBerry is going to go to $5. Perhaps if it falls, guys, it's going to be picked up by some people. Call them degenerates, call them whatever you want. But these people are not buying it on margin. Please do not underestimate that $500 times a million people is still $500 million. So these are your retail army with hands, diamond hands. They call it diamond hands. It's not gonna just shake out. You cannot shake them off. Robinhood had to raise $1 billion in a dash for cash after traders revolted. Reddit ignites the mall stock and fund cashes out $500 million. GameStop shows the rising power of retail traders. Silver seizes the spotlight following a Reddit day trader frenzy. Okay, it's clear. I agree. There's the speculators who are just there for a buck. A quick buck, a day trade. I'm not there for a decade, Nikki. I'm just there for a minute or a day or so. I just want to burn my cash like a casino. And I realized that I could make my burning cash there. So I'm okay with that. You know what you want. The market has what you want. They even said that in Wall Street, you get what you deserve. Whatever you want, we have it for you. You want cocaine? We have it. We have drugs. Whatever you want, we have it for you. That's Wall Street. The casino is always open. All right. Reddit saw a retail wave spurring a sevenfold surge in doggy coin into crypto. It's doggy time. Doggy coin surges as Reddit traders push. Okay, from heavily shorts to crypto, this was something that I kind of realized it would happen anyway. Let's watch a few more things.
Of inclusive, progressive.
I'm gonna show you why Wall Street Bets hates it. Why is it that when the large titans, the large billionaires are using the media with massive shorts to frighten everyone, that it's okay? But if it's the working class, the poor, so it's becoming a class warfare, isn't it? Let's watch this again. Let's watch a few things here. Tucker Carlson, Fox News. Let's see. Good evening. Let's explain.
Television in an attempt to make America even more afraid than it already was. Our economy may be done at this point, he said. Over, dead, not coming back. Bill Ackman went on like this for 28 full minutes. Terrified CNBC viewers watched slack-jawed as he ranted. Here's part of his performance.
Performance.
This was a feeling like I've never had. Like there's a tsunami coming, right? The tsunami's coming in. You feel it in the air, right? The tide starts to roll out, okay? And on the beach, people are playing and having fun like there's nothing going on. And that is the feeling I've had for the last 2 months. Okay, and my colleagues at work, okay, thought I was a lunatic. We need to shut it down now. America will end as we know it, okay, I'm sorry to say so, okay, unless we take this option.
Bill Ackman was afraid, and he wanted you to be afraid. Ackman was especially frightened for the future of Hilton Hotels. Hilton Hotels, Ackman proclaimed, quote, is going to zero, along with every other hotel company in the world. Every hotel is going to be shut down in the country, every one. But scary. But in the end, not for Bill Ackman. Not long after that appearance, we learned that Ackman's firm had made more than $2 billion from trading in the stocks that many people believed he had pushed down with the hysterically dire predictions you just saw, including Hilton Hotels. So was Ackman's rant on CNBC part of a very dishonest investment strategy? Seemed pretty obvious, so we said so on the air. Ackman's lawyers immediately threatened to sue us. In a long phone conversation later, Ackman swore to us that his public attack on Hilton Hotels had nothing at all to do with his desire to buy hotel stocks at a lower price or with the billions in profit that his firm subsequently reported. There was no connection whatsoever, he promised, and he sounded emotional as he said it. We'll let you assess Bill Ackman's sincerity. We do know that this kind of behavior is common on Wall Street. Ackman himself once attacked the company Herbalife on television. It's going to zero, he once again predicted, in an effort to profit from Herbalife's decline. Pretty ugly. But that kind of thing happens a lot on Wall Street. Hedge fund managers bet money that a specific stock will decline in value. That's called short selling. Short selling has no obvious value to the American economy. Short selling exists for the purpose of enriching the people who do it. Short selling hurts companies, obviously. It hurts their investors, hurts their employees. Ultimately, it hurts our country itself. Yet it continues. No one does anything about short selling. Regulators ignore it. CNBC applauds the brilliance of the people who do it. Oh, they're so clever, those hedge fund managers. In fact, NBC's Business Channel regularly lends its airwaves to unscrupulous short sellers who use free TV airtime, you may have seen this, to tank American companies for profit. They do that all the time. The last administration did nothing to stop this. The current administration certainly won't. The Biden White House is more tightly controlled by business interests than any administration in history. Virtually every person there is beholden to the finance establishment. What's happening on Wall Street is so clearly awful and so obviously destructive. The question is, who's going to fight back against it? As it turns out, a bunch of guys on Reddit will. It fell to them to push back against the short sellers because no one else even tried. So they did. A group of independent investors in a Reddit group called Wall Street Bets learned that hedge funds plan to short the stock of a fading retail company called GameStop. So the Reddit investors began buying shares of GameStop. and GameStop surged in value, ultimately up by more than 1,000%. The hedge funds, for all their calculation, hadn't seen that coming, and they lost billions as a result of it. One hedge fund lost so much money it needed a bailout from 2 other hedge funds. Meanwhile, some of the investors on Reddit got rich. But getting rich was not the whole reason they did it. They also wanted to send a message to the hedge fund managers. Here's one of the Reddit guys, a man called Justin Speak, explaining.
I'd be lying to say if there wasn't some pleasure out of the fact, I'm a pastor and Jesus tells a story about this rich fool who has an overabundant harvest that's more than he can store. And rather than give the excess to those in needs, he chooses to build bigger and bigger barns to store it for himself. And rather than share the billions with the less fortunate, they've built bigger and bigger barns for themselves. And so, yeah, I was 100%. There was a part of me that thought, well, it will be fun to be a part of this moment, to see this moment where at some level overnight, these investors are losing their investing lives. It's being demanded from them. And they're left wondering what they get, who's going to get what they had prepared for themselves.
They've built bigger barns for themselves. Well, that's true. Not to mention epically enormous art collections. The hedge fund people, in case you haven't noticed, in case you don't read the business press, are very proud of their art collections. Very aggressively, flamboyantly proud, despite the fact that a lot of their so-called art is ugly, overpriced garbage, cheap, garish crap that people will laugh at a generation from now. And that tells you a lot. It turns out that a lot of our financial wizards have awful taste. They're as vulgar as the way they do business. They don't know that, though, because no one dares tell them in a country that worships finance people. They're the kind of rich people who still think Frank Gehry is a brilliant architect, not a scam artist. So people like that, arrogant, lacking any self-awareness whatsoever, understandably generate some resentment from the rest of the population. They pause and say, wait a second, Bill Ackman, and the many people on Wall Street who behave like Bill Ackman, what exactly did you do to make $2 billion? Did you improve anything? Or was it just another sleazy inside deal that the rest of us were excluded from participating in? Tell us now. Please speak slowly so we can understand your answer. That was pretty much the message the Reddit guys were sending to Wall Street. Watching at home, a lot of Americans applauded that message. They feel the same way. But the hedge fund people don't. They weren't happy. People who lose money rarely are happy. But here's what makes the hedge fund managers different from you. They have a lot more power than you. They control the game, so they immediately change the rules of the game. Today, the investment app Robinhood, which is used by independent investors to buy and sell stock, banned its users from trading GameStop shares, as well as...
So, okay. It's very clear that people know that stock market manipulation apparently only applies to the richest of the rich. They can go on CNBC, they can have this, before they actually go on CNBC, they know that people would already sell if they get scared. I don't know, for some reason, that media thing is still working. I'm not sure why. Like if a company is being talked massively down in CNBC and then they're going to short it. And so I mean, before they are on show, it's already being shorted. So, or if they like a company, they already have longs and they're going to pump it. Well, these practices are legal. That's a funny thing. Nobody actually bans them from doing it. Now, if the little guy used the same thing, suddenly it's wrong. Is it really wrong? In fact, I actually shared it in my profile. Now, I'm not here to say that I condone market manipulation. I'm just saying that it happens all the time, sadly, but you just needed to learn how the rules operate. It's like, I knew that Macy's was going to be a good buy at $6 to $7 simply because of what? Technical analysis. I knew about Russian Billionaire buying a lot at $6 to $7. I did my work. And then you're going to stop people who have longs suddenly because what? Because it's being short squeezed. Is that a problem? Is it my problem that the other side is stupid and very flamboyantly arrogant? Is it really? Now, I mean, okay, got it. You made a sell at set 21 all the way to 14, got it. So I kind of agree with this one. Dan Price said, manipulating the stock market is one of the things that is considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you are rich. And so, of course, people are really mad about what just happened. What happened? So I'm going to share to you a few things. Everybody knows that these are the industries that have a massive short. GameStop, Virgin Galactic, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, Ligand Pharma, National Beverage, Fubo TV, Sun Power, Tanger Factory, Accelerate Diagnostics, Tootsie Roll, GoGo Inc., Clovis Oncology, OnTrack, GSX Tech Edu, Car Parts, Sensionics, iRobot, Retractable. Okay, we're not saying that these are perfectly wonderful companies, right? It is being short squeezed. Where is the money going? When you knew that the money flow was getting into some short squeeze names and you were massively short, don't you think you actually deserve the losses? Why bother shorting? Unlimited downside, limited upside. It's an asymmetric risk-reward ratio. So with this, what I'm saying, the boiling frog is happening on both sides. The temperature is rising. Are you going to really start preventing? Or are you going to just stay with status quo until it's too late? So everyone is now exiting Robinhood. They realize, I can't win this game. I'm going to just leave Robinhood. It is going to be what? Who's going to potentially benefit when these Robinhood users are going to leave? Could be that they're going to go to some crypto assets. Could be that they're going to listen to what Chamath wants to do. Because Chamath sided with the Wall Street bets. He even defended the Wall Street bets for that short squeeze. And of course, Elon Musk defended revenge is sweet. Because for all you know, remember, Citron Research long time ago actually sued Elon Musk when there was a tweet that Elon Musk said that he could take his company private for 20. Okay, AMC next. Those are the things that you see on social chatter. Wall Street bets. The merchandise is probably gonna sell very well. So maybe Etsy indeed would do very well because everyone who's a fan of Wall Street bets are likely gonna do Wall Street bets stuff. Either they're gonna 3D print it, I don't know, just my view. I actually saw people saying that, well, probably Andrew Ross Sorkin should probably make an episode on the Billions about what's happening on GameStop. I hope that there will be. So Bobby Axelrod, you can see, let's see what his approach for this GME episode is. I really don't know yet. The reckless abandon of Wall Street bets. This is the guy who owns Reddit. So what do other billionaires have to say about this? Mark Cuban said that this Reddit trend could be a great equalizer. There are some billionaire investors who say that there's really nothing wrong with what Wall Street bets are doing. There's nothing criminal about what they did. It's just fair game. They just did what was part of the rules. Watch this.
Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban says that he's actually a big fan of what's playing out between retail investors and hedge funds around shares of GameStop. Users of Reddit's Wall Street Bets forum have helped bid that stock up massively this week. Last night, Cuban tweeted, "I've got to say I love what is going on with hashtag Wall Street Bets. All of those years of high-frequency traders, front-running retail traders. Now speed and density of information and retail trading is giving the little guy an edge. Even my 11-year-old traded with them and made money." Mark, of course, as you know, is also the owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks, and he joins us right now on the Squawk Newsline. And Mark, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I get it. I love the sentiment of being able to stick it to the hedge funds. And what the hedge funds have been able to do, in some cases, has been really, really bad news. But if you're manipulating market prices, I don't see how that's a good thing, really, in any scenario.
How's this any different than what every brokerage firm does? You know, we've been talking about get long, get loud for
it's not
generations.
It's
right?
not good for the brokerages to be doing that at all either. I'm not defending that. It's just when you see moves like this, It's a little crazy. And I wonder what Doug Parker is thinking. I wish we could get him back on to ask him what he thinks about his stock being up better than 50%, because I would think that makes a company pretty hard to run, too. How do you live up to those expectations now?
Oh, but they're not expectations at all. I mean, look, the reality is you just have to run your company and do your best. It doesn't change the fundamentals of the company at all. You know, it so many respects is window dressing. And if you are an owner of American Airlines, if you're an owner of GameStop, hopefully, you know, prior to all this, hopefully you owned it for a good reason and you believe in the company. And all the not even manipulation, all the swings in the price of the stock, it's all just mishigas, right? I mean, if it's a good company, it's a good company. If it's a bad company, it'll end up going out of business. And, you know, the people who, you know, bought it just to speculate, some will make money, some will lose money. But that's just the way the market's always worked. The only thing that's really changed is the speed and the density and the reduction in friction for smaller traders to trade. That's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good news in terms of crowdsourcing, being able to have the same heft that some of these really big whales have on their own, if you can get this together. But we don't know who some of the people on the chat boards are, or in Reddit are on these threads who are saying some of these things, too. Do you worry that some of the Wall Street guys could get behind that, some of the big guys, and manipulate those things?
Yeah, but it's not really manipulation. It's absolutely no different than what has always happened, Becky. You know, it's just these folks are picking things where, you know, heavily shorted stocks. They'll go to low float stocks because they know they can flex and show off, you know, and let people see what's going on. But look at it the other way. What if they go after companies that are really good, or maybe smaller companies that are have a great social mission, and get people not just to buy them in mass and quickly so the stock price skyrockets, but also to hold on to them, or, you know, in cryptocurrency terms, hodl them so that, you know, that company really can grow based off of the valuation of that stock. You know, so I think now it's just a flex. You know, they picked the right place to show off with these heavily shorted stocks. And, you know, hopefully they'll go to good companies too and help them grow. And we'll see a positive side of this that hopefully will have long-lasting effects.
Look, I think one thing this definitely does is shines a light on some of the behavior that regulators really should step in and take a look at. Some of the behavior by the hedge funds. If you're able to short more than 100% of a stock, if you don't have to disclose your shorts ever, if you can do one thing and you know, say one thing and do another, I think that there could be a call for additional regulation coming on that. What are your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, if you're misleading, right? If you're pumping and dumping to the upside, or if you're shorting and misleading people to the downside, yes, that's obviously something the regulators should look at. But remember, when you short a stock, there's a VIG on it, right? You have to borrow it, and you're paying some percentage to the whoever owns the stock and is loaning it out. And as someone who's shorted stocks many times, you know when that VIG is high, you know exactly what you're getting into, and you know exactly what the risks are. You know, and you just hope something like this doesn't happen. But again, it's not the first time that low float or heavily shorted stocks have been targeted. It's just very visible, and it's just not the normal suspects that are doing the targeting. There are many hedge funds that have made a lot of money over the years targeting heavily shorted stocks. And so I don't think this is anything different. It's just the people who are making the push aren't who we expect them to be. And so that's why I like it. You know, when you bring people out of nowhere to really show the inefficiencies of the market, it's a good thing.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
To the non-Filipinos to the Filipinos out here, basically tinuruan ng mga bata yung matatanda.
Billionaire entrepreneur.
The young ones are teaching the older ones how it's done. So let's see what happened. Let's go to charts. Do you want to go to the charts? So you're seeing the one night stands. It's very clear naman eh. These, the ones that have risen, at least from an awesome 10x pick, we kind of knew that the department stores were being shorted massively. But what you're seeing right now is with regulation, and I'm not sure what exactly the rules will be tomorrow. This is what I believe has been a clear beneficiary. The clear beneficiary in all these movements have been this. Chamath, IPOE, aka social finance, Bitcoin because they're decentralized, Penn National Gaming because people might actually be opining that Davy Portnoy, the symbol of some retail army, which has been already discussed since June, that people were saying, diba, like we were discussing that you could not or you should never underestimate the little guy. Wall Street massively, at least the suits, that's why they call them the suits, the ones who wear suits. The suits have always underestimated the power of the small retail, the masses. They've always underestimated the guy with $1,000 only. And so when combined, it is in a way, I was saying, what exactly is happening here? Okay, so who are the winners in this movement? Okay, let's take a look at the charts per se of what I said. The winners. Because Robinhood people are angry, they're going to find a new Robinhood. And it's not easy for them to just find a new Robinhood. So they're probably going to change markets. As you are seeing right now, BTC USD is now trading 10%. I was telling this actually last night, getting pissed off at the way that regulators actually stopped the transactions. Last night was saying that GBTC, okay, so 12 midnight, game over for GME, AMC. Here's where the market will move GBTC, enter Bitcoin 32 to 24. That was a support right there, $31.90 last night. Last night was already $33. It was just up 1%. You could hear the clamor of Wall Street bets. You stopped me from buying. Of course, I'm mad. Of course. So this is what happens tonight. 10% right now up on Bitcoin. You've got Grayscale pre-markets already up 1%. It's still cheap. It's not yet up 10%. Will it go back to 40,000? Will it be higher because of people who are flowing elsewhere? Are they flowing to the crypto markets because of this? Because they want decentralization. They don't want regulation. Also, another beneficiary is IPOE. IPOE, which is social finance, $20 up. Yesterday, 11% up. You are seeing a higher low here at about 18, 19. Did I think that it was a beneficiary before this move up? Yes. Here, I said 1:31 p.m. before the markets open because I'm talking about Philippine time. The answer, guys, is IPOE, aka social finance. Chamath's digital wallet, which is the next square. This is free money being shared. 18 IPOE all the way to 10. Get in. Thank you. Goodbye. Just buy it. That was January 28, 2021. Well, at that point in time, this was the chart. Even if the next day you bought at 19 or 20, I'm glad to say that my ideas, the market agreed with me. Oops, sorry, you can't see my screen. Let me share my screen, guys. Wait up. New share. Let me share my screens. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? This is my screen. I'm sharing to you the awesome 10x told our own inner circle, guys, way before IPOE, Chamath was gonna be the beneficiary of all these things. Well, I didn't know that it will be the next day beneficiary, of course. I thought that I had all the time in the world to buy IPOE all the way to 13 because I wanted to buy it all the way down. Unfortunately, the market already reacted upwards. The next day was up 11%. And people are saying that after hours, I think it's already trading at $23. If you are not helping the retail investors, Robinhood's business model is going downhill. People are angry. People are angry. And this one, I said, was a beneficiary. The moment you stopped the moment you stop the buyers to buy, and that they can only sell, you actually defied the market system. You defied the rules. That's what's exactly happened last night. Now, I mean, okay, that's it. I have nothing else to say except that I believe that those are the beneficiaries. People would love people who are siding and have the same morality as them. It doesn't mean that the integrity of the markets has been sacrificed. It's just that the market will buy what they believe in. If the beneficiaries would be chamat SPACs like IPOE, I also think, guys, that SPACs will get a lot of money. You've got SPACs like Talkspace, HEC. Biden just signed a new healthcare bill. So Talkspace, maybe HIMS. HIMS is an ARC-related buy into. It got fallen down. Perhaps, I'm not sure why it even fell. But 14 managed to rise back at 17. So I think that, yes, there will still be people asking me, Nikki, is the market over because they are favoring Wall Street suits and they're not allowing the real markets to function? Well, I believe that there will be volatility. The volatility does not necessarily have to go down all the way. It can go down, go up, go down, go up. I'm not saying that you just go YOLO, which you should never be, by the way. You could be a boiling frog even when you're long and even when you're short. You could be a pig getting slaughtered both on the long side and on the short side. That's what I mean. People have to realize that, okay, what did I do? Okay, these are the shorts. I knew some of them. So the ones that I agreed upon, I'll tell you what, some picks of Awesome 10X, like Smile Direct Club, went up, went down. There are resistances already. You cannot change the truth that there are resistances. So these are some resistances. You've got 16 resistances. And of course, Smile Direct Club has a resistance at 23. You know, there's a massive short here. So $13 all the way to 10 if you really like it. It's the telehealth for dentistry. So they have been already trying to do their best. That's why you see that higher low. Macy's has been shorted. We know that there was a massive buyer here at about $6, a Russian billionaire. Okay, I'm gonna share again the chart. I forgot my. Okay, let's show to you the charts. This is Macy's. This was an awesome 10x buy rec. What about 6 to 7? We knew about their e-commerce fronts. We knew that they're not gonna go the same way as going to zero. Yes, there was a massive squeeze to 22. People are taking profits. This will be a buy the dip mode. 14 to 12 or even at 10, you want to buy into these names. So department stores are, of course, being said that it's not going to happen to go up. What happened to your airlines? Remember when I said that airlines were not going to die? Yeah, you had a way to buy it at about 13. People are selling at $20. You see that very clearly. But if it goes down to about 14, 15, all the way to 10, it's a trading range. What I could see, guys, is that parabolic moves will not happen. But can you trade the range? Yes, you can trade the range. What's going to happen to your Nokia? Will they open back again? What's going to happen to AMC? You know, people would restart. Okay, it's going to get sold down, but there will be people who want to buy AMC just for sending a message and sticking it to the man. They'll still buy AMC if it goes down to $4 or $3. That's what I believe in. I could be wrong. But the thing about me is that my opinions are just opinions. The Awesome 10X system has nothing to do with ego. I could be right, I could be wrong. I put a 3% stake in a system, in a buy. I could make, if my $3,000 went $3,000 gain, I'll admit I'm fine, I'm happy. If it ends up becoming a $10,000 gain, great. If I lose $3,000 long, loses 50%, won $5, am I mad to myself? No, it's risk reward. Everybody knows about risk reward. Why would people not know about risk reward? Look, we got, I was so early on Jumia, 4 and 7. I thought that $20 was it. I even told some people who held their Jumia, Okay, sell some at 45. But it still managed to go 60. But we were not shorting. We were just taking profits. Let's say you took profits on your sun power. All right, you don't understand this madness. Sure, you know that this is going parabolic. Can it go to $60? You're just taking profits for the hell of it, right? Fubo, you sold at 45. You're going to get back in at 32 or $30 or 25. That's the thing, guys. It's not over. You have a huge trading range. That's what you have, a huge trading range. Some are trading ranges. I'm not sure if Palantir is a trading range or a trend reversal, but I don't think the trend is reversed, guys. I think that this is a buy. So you know my ideas. I publish my ideas every day, free markets, free every single day. DDD, I felt was expensive. I got, to be honest, I talked about 3D printing as early as $7. If you just simply took a look at the day, the time when I talked about 3D printing systems, I didn't even just discuss 3D. I didn't just discuss DDD. Talked about Stratasys. I talked about X1. Why do I study this? Because I love fundamentals and technicals. I do use technical analysis. I can detect. If you were following your rules, if you were following your charts, you could detect, right? As early as $12 breakout X1. Why do you have to penalize the people who are just doing their jobs and punishing them? Diba? It's just wrong. And the people who lost money deserved it. That's my view. But I'm just a little one, like all these little ones. So I think like for just entertainment, you just want to go to Reddit. You just want to watch what's happening. And tonight, actually, I think like 6:50 p.m., the Robinhood CEO is going to be explaining, Vlad Tenev is going to discuss and explain what exactly happened with Robinhood. They got to explain. They were supposed to help their clients. What exactly happened here? Okay, that's it, guys. All right, bye-bye. Have a good dinner. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Awesome 10X is my Facelesstrader, and you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Spotify as Facelesstrader. You can also follow me straight inside Awesome 10X, wherein we have the Slack channel. We have our Viber groups, and you can actually join us. It's about 15,800 pesos or just $330 a year. We want to seek to help people to invest in 10X companies. Sometimes we get these one night stand movements, like, very huge speculative moves. But I'm not saying that we invest or we speculate. We actually don't. We just look at where the 10X money comes. Whether that 10X company is a GameStop. We were buying GameStop at about 4 to 7. We were ready to lose money either way. What in the hell did they know that's going to go 500? We didn't know that's going to go 500. Did we say about GameStop? Yes. It was even a free Friday class. We talked about it. Watch this. NASDAQ 12,000. So what is next? And I said, look, September 4, 2020, are we going to have a bearish month? Is it the start of a bearish month? Talk about it. Nobody's right all the time. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Why would bad stocks become good trades? How much risk are you willing to bear? Talked about parabolic pops and drops, insanity charts. And I talked about extreme moves, crazy gains. Okay, so what did I say? The surprise, the element of surprise. So people were surprised with Zoom and Tesla, with Nikola, with DraftKings, and the government you knew was going to bail out the airlines. So why in the hell would you short it in the first place and expect to even make money? So talked about these names, American Airlines, even talked about like Live Nation, Planet Fitness. Sure, you can short Bitcoin all the way you want, right? Nobody, some people were trying to do that, and, Overstock was being massively shorted. And you knew what happened with Overstock, $4 to $140. And I said about this, GME was being sold down all the way down. If you do your research, if you do the hard work, guys, why in the hell, I still don't understand, but let it be. Let it be. We move on. You see these people. spending over $5,000 on GameStop in a week. And GameStop was closing all the underperforming stores. And digital e-commerce activists were swarming GameStop. You knew about Michael Burry. You knew about Ryan Cohen. This is an actual report. 1,400% e-commerce sales increase. Guys, we made the work. And yet, if we made money, are we supposed to apologize? Are we supposed to apologize? Buy it for 72. That was a call made inside Awesome 10X inner circle. And yet, we were supposed to lose money. Well, sorry, we didn't lose money, still made money. All I'm saying is that I feel, guys, I just simply feel that the people, and this was a free Friday class, by the way. I was just plugging Awesome 10X. This was a free Friday class. It's not as if I invented this. Go to September 4, 2020. Watch again, NASDAQ 12,000 wall. I talked about companies that were still massively being shorted that presented a black swan opportunity. Nassim Nicholas Taleb said that you want to bet on the unlikeliest outcome. Because if you lose one. If you win 10, $100, right? Did people know that you'd make 10x, 12x on Wayfair? The element of surprise. This is what gets me mad, just like all the Wall Street bettors who are, getting angry. I'm not like an angry person most of the time, but I just hate it when you change the rules just because. That's sad. Just that sad. So that's it. Thank you very much. Have a good dinner. Bye-bye. I'm gonna leave.